Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and it is time once again for the Raw review. Now, I'm really pissed off. I was over at my stepbrother's house. I was watching Raw. We had a whole review. We stupidly used the YouTube uploader webcam on his MacBook, and it got all fucked up. We had a really good review, a two-person review, and I was pissed off. And now I've got to fucking redo the whole fucking thing, which pisses me the fuck off. But anyway, we're gonna stay strong. We're gonna redo it, alright. It starts off with Batista, Orton, and Stephanie. And this was lame. This was shitty. I talked about in the past the insults when they did the Slammies insult of the year. Insults in WWE aren't even insulting. They're fucking lame. You'd expect to hear this shit on the schoolyard with kindergartners. Batista saying to Orton, "You're drooling over Stephanie." You know, back when they used to insult Stephanie, it was all about, Jericho calling her a bottom-feeding trash bag hoe. All these, shocking insults, you couldn't believe they were saying that about the boss's daughter. And it was awesome, motherfuckers. It was real. But this time around, it just is so fucking, just cheap and childish. These are the main eventers of WrestleMania, and they talk like children. You should have told Orton he'd meet him by the flagpole at 3, because I felt like it was a bunch of fucking kids just arguing in the ring like a bunch of knuckleheads. Then you get your first match. It's Christian defeating Sheamus, Ziggler, and Del Rio. This was a pretty decent match, pretty fast-paced. Couple of botches in there, especially a messy one with Del Rio going for the enziguri when Sheamus was on the ring apron. He misses, and this is something that a lot of these wrestlers nowadays got to stop doing, the deer in the headlights type of thing. And I seen this here from Del Rio in the past, where he fucks up and doesn't seem like he knows what to do. Real professionals, real true wrestlers, the truly great ones know how to come back from a botch. But Del Rio doesn't know how to do that. This is just another thing that I don't like about Del Rio. He just doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have that killer instinct. That's why I believe he really doesn't deserve to be there. And plus, a lot of these wrestlers, it seems ridiculous, all 4 of them fighting for the Intercontinental belt. I always thought that this was stupid, winning an Intercontinental belt after winning a world title. Intercontinental belts are for up-and-comers. This should be awarded to wrestlers before they ascend to a world title, or like your Kofi Kingston, and you'll never get near a world title in your fucking life. But anyway, Intercontinental titles are just fucking ridiculous. They did this with Jericho. He won the Intercontinental title 3 times after winning the fucking undisputed championship, the one of the biggest titles of all time right there. And, and winning an Intercontinental belt means fucking shit after that. What does it fucking mean? All 4 of these guys have been the world heavyweight champion. Sheamus, Ziggler, Del Rio, yeah, all of them, and some of them multi-time world champions, and going after an Intercontinental belt. It was a good match. I enjoyed the ending sequence, but it just shows that they don't know how to fucking book. I mean, guys who win world titles shouldn't be fighting for Intercontinental belts. I'm sorry. Then you got Sin Cara, and this was the Scooby motherfucking Doo segment, motherfuckers. And I have to admit, it wasn't that bad. It was like a Band-Aid, not too pleasant taking it off, but, they just, and there you go. I might have stole that from Seinfeld, but, they got it over quickly. They ripped the Band-Aid off, and it was done before you know it. Mystery Machine pulls up, Sin Cara pops out, followed by a goofball dressed like Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo doesn't even know where he's going in the costume, you know. And also, I felt that this was racist. Yeah, if there was a problem I had with this segment, it wasn't Scooby-Doo himself, it was the racist overtones or undertones or wherever the undertones were, residing. They were racist. You know, a Mexican coming into the arena in a van, in the back of a van. Now, you know, you might be saying I might be making a pot reference there. Maybe he was smoking up with Scooby in the back. You know, that's what the Mystery Machine was all about there. But I'll tell you something, motherfuckers. Sin Cara, this is how they're showing how he got into the country from a van. This is the commentary Vince McMahon likes to show. This is a PG show. And during a PG skit, they show a Mexican being transported in the van. You know, this is beyond racist, motherfuckers. Anyway, Sin Cara has a 1-minute match with Sandow. He squashes him. And meanwhile, you have Scooby mocking him from ringside. You know, this is the thing. What the fuck did Sandow do to deserve this type of treatment other than be a good, entertaining personality here in the WWE? You know, good promos. He was putting on good matches for a time. Had like 2 good matches with Cena. How was he rewarded? By losing with Scooby-Doo looking on from ringside. This is just the perfect picture right here. If Sandow gets released, you know, soon, he could always remember one of his last moments was with Scooby-Doo at ringside. Fucking embarrassing here, you know, but at least it was short. It's just, you know, there were a lot of things here that bothered me, especially that a guy as talented as Sandow had to be involved in this segment. But it wasn't that bad. You know, it was alright. They got it out of the way quickly. It was at the beginning of the show. You know, this is better than if they saved it to the last segment. So at least they handled it pretty well. If you're going to have Scooby motherfucking Doo on the show, you might as well handle it the way they did. You know. So there you go. They got that out of the way. But it didn't get much better. It was Los Matadors up next, defeating Ryback. You know, where does this match come from? Just 2 goofballs and goofy-looking masks against 2 other fucking talentless goofballs. The Shield comes out, a little bit of a distraction there, and Ryback, the motherfucker who was there, who was fighting Cena. Fighting motherfucking Cena there. You know, just a couple of months ago. And there he is, CM Punk a couple of months ago as well. And here he is facing Los Matadors. How low can one stoop? I mean, this just looks fucking ridiculous, motherfuckers. Anyway, you know, so you got Los Matadors beating a former Intercontinental champ and a former main eventer. Embarrassing. Very embarrassing, motherfuckers. Then it was Triple H. You know, they basically did what they do on YouTube, the sit-down interview, and it sucked. It was boring. It was more of this, reiterating what happened with Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan wasn't even there this week. They promised it. They explained it later in the show that his doctor didn't clear it. But they have gotten away with the injured wrestlers appearing on shows. They could have had, him coming out with a crutch or something and then beating Triple H up with the crutch. They've done it like 1,000 times in the past. It might have not been great, but it would have been better than what we got. It was just really boring. Triple H is getting all excited at the end, saying this is going to be a new era, the reality era, basically an era where he buries everybody. And, funny thing is, that's been the era since 2002, motherfuckers. So we've always been in the reality era. And the reality is that this fucking company fucking sucks. That's the reality of it, motherfuckers. So I didn't like this segment. I thought it was boring. And Triple H, last week when he got excited at Batista and Orton with the insults flying, that was good. But this time it was just, it seemed like a fucking gorilla in there, just being a fucking nuisance, just being loud for no reason. Then it was Cody Rhodes defeating Fandango. More goofy shit from Goldust. I don't understand it. Goldust puts on top-notch performances. So does Cody Rhodes. But Goldust was, the one who was taking all the spotlight. It was a great return. The tag title run was pretty decent, considering this is, not a great era in WWE. We got some good matches from Goldust, and that's what counts. So do you think that at least maybe they might treat Goldust to a couple of nice things, a couple of nice moments in WWE to, so we can ride off into the sunset and retire a happy man? Maybe, not talking about a world title run, it wouldn't work, but, they could give him a match with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, for example. Just a great moment right there. But instead, they're stuck in a feud with Fandango and Summer Rae. And how, where could this feud even go? And, I like the more edgy Goldust as opposed to the more goofy and weird Goldust. And this isn't even really the Goldust from the Attitude Era or even, pre-Attitude Era Goldust. This is just him being like Santino-ish, dancing around. It's not working. It's not. And it's more boring fucking shit here. A boring match, boring comedy that's not funny. Just wasting everybody's time. They deserve more than this. Then it was Hogan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Joe, however the fuck you say his last name. And Hogan, this is what I found funny about this segment. I liked this segment a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed seeing Arnold, one of my favorite, actors of all time there. And, you had Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest stars of all time in the same ring, and it was just entertaining. But Hogan botches the name of his supposed best friend. Joe Manganiello, he said James Maganoli or whatever the fuck he said. I don't know. It's embarrassing. How do you not know the last name of your best friend or how to properly pronounce it? The Miz comes out. Everybody gets a shot on the Miz and they throw him out. Pretty good segment to get Arnold on there. They handle it well. It didn't feel babyish or childish. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Then it was Big Show defeating Titus O'Neil. They break up the team with the primetime players. I'm really happy. I got my wish a year and a half after I asked for it. But anyway, we still got it. And that's what counts, guys, right? But no, motherfuckers. They're ruining Titus O'Neil. Getting squashed by Sheamus, squashed by Big Show. What the fuck is the point? And I'm pretty sure that the Big Show ain't gonna win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because Michael Cole keeps screaming, he's the favorite! He's the favorite! How many times are they gonna do this already? Could they not make it so obvious that he's not gonna win? I mean, if you keep saying it, if he does end up winning, that'd even be more retarded. But to have Michael Cole just sitting there, and by the way, no one even really seems like they talk about this here on YouTube. Anybody notice that all these announcers do is repeat the same fucking shit over and over? Where the fuck is the originality? Mexico's greatest export. It's even gotten to the point where JBL and Michael Cole are asking each other to say each other's cliches. It's getting hard to listen to week after week. They're basically reading the same fucking lines. They might as well just fucking put it on autopilot. Make a recording and just change certain things according to the wrestlers in the ring. Because I'm hearing the same commentary week after week and it's getting really fucking ear-bleedingly bad and hard to listen to. What the fuck was next? Then you get, got a lot of shit written down on this paper. I'm trying to save paper here. Then you got Cena and Luke Harper. And a pretty good match, a horrible reaction for Cena. Everybody is hating on Cena. You got fucking Luke Harper hitting a bunch of fucking great moves. Super kick, pump handle suplex, Michinoku driver. The man is just hitting him with all these bunch of moves right here. And then, Cena, it was a good match and everything. And, of course, Cole and everybody have to say, Cena invoked such a reaction from the crowd. They're booing him. Why don't they ever say the word boo or cheer or anything? No synonym or anything related to any type of negative reaction to Cena. They always have to say that, what a reaction he gets. I've never seen this before from anybody. Any wrestler that he manages to just misconstrue everything about Cena. And it's getting ridiculous already because it's worse than ever. People are really fucking sick of Cena more than ever. And they'll just keep manipulating it. They will make every excuse in the world. Every single type of fake storyline, to make it seem like maybe Cena will turn heel, but they always find an excuse not to. It can never be like that. Cena can never snap and just go heel. Every excuse has to be made in the world. This is every single time Cena gets in the ring, it's the same line of commentary. What a reaction he gets! Whether it's negative or positive, it's a reaction. Or a reaction, somebody is rude to you, somebody cuts you off when you're driving, you give the guy the middle finger and say he's an asshole, and he is an asshole, he cuts you off. How would you like it if you had your friend, your wife, your girlfriend sitting next to you, and you say, hey, he's not that bad of a guy, at least he gets a reaction. You'd fucking punch that bitch in the face, wouldn't you? I know you would. I know you'd take your best friend and just, kick him out the fucking door, the next opportunity you got. Who the fuck wants to hear that from your friend? Who the fuck wants to hear that about, the most annoying wrestler on the roster? Pathetic already. It's getting fucking sickening listening to this shit. But I enjoyed the match. This is the thing. As much as I don't like Cena in the position he's given, Cena does have a lot of good matches. If he has the right opponent, it could be good. And it was a non-finish, which pisses me off, but I like how they had him tied in the ropes. They put the lamb mask on him. It was a good graphic image there to make it very eerie and creepy. I enjoyed it. It's something different to add to this pretty boring feud. But don't you notice that they will do everything possible to make it so Cena doesn't have to lose ever. And right before the lights turned out and they did that to Cena, it looked like Cena was about to win anyway, which is just fucking ridiculous. Luke Harper was getting a big reaction. It might have been just because Cena happened to be his opponent. But, this guy Harper is a great wrestler. He really is, and he proved it on this night. Good post-match, good match here. Not too many complaints there other than just Cena himself. But you have to give credit where credit's due. Good match from Cena. Many people are just going to say, it was Harper who had the good match. But, Cena was in there. He's selling for Harper. So, Cena did his part. You can't be ridiculous. I just bashed the fuck out of Cena. But, we have to sadly, talk about the positives. Otherwise, we sound like idiots as well. Then it was Naomi defeating AJ by countout. Fucking pointless here. Just walking out on AJ. This was a match that, had like 2 months of build-up because Naomi got injured. They have the match. AJ just walks out. This is just so pointless. Then Vicky Guerrero comes out and announces a match at WrestleMania. It's going to be AJ versus almost every single diva and total diva on a roster, which sounds compelling, but it's going to be a lot like the Cruiserweight Open at WrestleMania, WrestleMania 20, or the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. You'll have eliminations probably every 10 seconds, 20 divas, and they're only going to give the match like 5 minutes, so you do the math there. It's not going to last long. It's not going to be a good match. I got a feeling that AJ will probably still walk out champion. They don't really have a lot of options. I don't like AJ, but what the fuck else are they gonna do? Then we get the announcement of the Hall of Fame. Razor Ramon is going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's about time, motherfuckers. Maybe he's sobered up enough. I hear he's been doing DDP yoga, which has been, kind of like his release so he doesn't have to go back to the alcohol or the drugs or whatever. It's good, though. I hope he's sober enough for the speech, but this is something that I didn't like. And I know, it's kind of petty to complain, after we get something that we want here, definitely deserves it. But, Razor Ramon is getting inducted, but Scott Hall is not. And if you didn't see this, induction video package, you might be asking, Brad, what the fuck are you talking about? Razor Ramon is Scott Hall, you motherfucker, you fucking dumbass Mama Luke. That is Scott Hall. That's his real name. Yeah, but obviously Scott Hall isn't going into the Hall of Fame. Razor Ramon is, because during the video package, they made no mention of his name, Scott Hall. There was no footage shown of Scott Hall in WCW. When I think Scott Hall, my mind, maybe this is just me personally, but I think a lot of others, their minds go right to the NWO. Because he's one of the founding members. It was just 3 guys in the beginning. It was Hall, Nash, and Hogan. So pretty much you would think that Scott Hall, as a whole, his whole career, as a whole, he's a whole person he'd be inducted in. Just like everybody else who's been inducted. We still talk about, it being all-inclusive and everything, but for some reason they decided to just go up to like 1995 with his career and just end it right there and not even talk about any of his, major contributions to WCW, which are pretty important, I think, to talk about because it was a pretty big part of history there. He was with WCW for a good 5 years, but they just completely ignored it. A lot of Scott Hall's big problems started in WCW, but that's no reason to ignore his whole career over there. I didn't like that. Razor Ramon is good, but just the character, not the whole man being inducted in. You might just say it's just a name. The guy is still going to be there accepting the award, but it just seemed kind of foolish to me. This is the first time I'm really having like a problem with an induction of somebody I wanted. I'm just confused is all. I don't get it. Maybe they'll clear this up at the Hall of Fame, but I have no idea why they chose to do this with the name. Then you got the Shield defeating the Real Americans, a match we've seen 1,000 times, but good. The problem I have is the Brooklyn crowd going crazy. My people, New Yorkers, going crazy during this match when it was good, but it was not this is awesome like they were saying. Seth Rollins does a somersault plancha, a move that like 20 other wrestlers on the roster do. I don't get this. Nowadays, one guy does one flying move and this is awesome. Back in the Attitude Era, and I know, here it goes again with that Attitude Era bullshit. It deserves mentioning here. You couldn't get away with just doing one move. Now, Seth Rollins is great. He's a talented motherfucker, and I've been a fan of him ever since his Tyler Black days. But let's get honest here for a minute. He does one move in the ring, and his match should not be considered awesome. I enjoyed the match. There was a bit of quality to it. But, then again, we've seen it 1,000 times, and it wasn't substantial. But I guess the crowd was just begging. They wanted to chant something positive, and maybe this was their only real first opportunity because the show lacked it. It's not a horrible show, but there were a lot of things that I did. A couple of things that I liked, but nothing too substantial. But I guess it gave them an excuse to cheer. Then you got Lesnar and Taker in the main event, and to me this was kind of disappointing. It took 1,000 years for Taker to appear. Nobody takes longer to appear to get to the ring than Taker. And I know this is the whole spectacle, the whole presentation. I appreciate that. But it took Undertaker like 10 more minutes than usual to get out of the casket. We've seen this 1,000 times before. He's not there in the casket. Lesnar walks around, gives Taker an opportunity to, get through like a trap door or whatever underneath and then pop up out of the casket. He punches him a couple of times and that's it. It was alright, but the time could have been used for more. There could have been more of an epic promo. I was happy when Lesnar grabbed the mic from Paul Heyman. Brock is terrible on the mic. He talks about, 1 word per minute. But, Heyman, and I can't even believe I'm saying this about Heyman. I am sick of hearing Paul Heyman talk. As of late, his promos have just been boring. He's sort of kind of lost it in the way. I used to love hearing Heyman talk, but now it's just getting boring already. He's just... I think he's just bored with the product himself and bored with this feud even. He has nothing to say of any worth. So yeah, not that the segment was bad or anything. It furthered the storyline, guys. Say the normal cliche thing here in the YWC. But, I wasn't too thrilled with it. The show as a whole was just... you had a couple of good things, a couple of decent matches, but, I didn't go to the show this year. It would have been fun to just go, I guess, but, I don't really feel like really too let down that I wasn't there. I didn't really miss out on anything truly great. Not a horrible Raw, but definitely not a good one. A couple of decent matches, but not really memorable. I won't look back on this and really, this is one of these Raws where I'll be like, it was an entertaining show at parts, but really, a month later, are we going to be talking about this Raw? Fuck no. No, we're not. Even with the Arnold segment, Hogan, I found it entertaining, well done. But, really at the end of the day, even with a couple of decent matches, I ain't going to fucking remember those matches a month later. I ain't going to say, hey, remember that Fatal 4-Way #1 contendership for the Intercontinental title? Of course not. I don't even like half the guys in the fucking match. So I ain't going to remember those matches at all. So, okay show. Slightly above average at times, but a lot of fucking bullshit, a lot of things that pissed me off. Happy about Razor Ramon being in the Hall of Fame, but not Scott Hall. But, what are you going to do? At least we got Razor Ramon, if not Scott Hall. But, decent show. I will say it was decent. Not good, but decent, motherfuckers. Alright.